Hey everybody, iceman11a here. Well, I hope a lot of you are with me. Um, Guys, I'm going to do a quick review on a game that I've been playing since it was released in early access and everybody ought to know about it. It's called Satisfactory. Well, anyway, it's like I got a good review on it and a bad review on it. A lot of times, as you can see, this is a part of a mod that I've been making to help with the power issues. Well, guys, I'm not very happy with it. Now, they were originally supposed to take this water out of the generators. It makes sense why in it, but it's just that trying to pump enough water into all these generators is just flat out ridiculous. Because half of them, we're not even going to be full of water. It's just impossible. Look, there's barely any water in here. And if you come down to the other end of it, where the water comes in at, you'll find out that, well, hell, it's pretty freaking full. And I'm thinking, well, why can I not get this water down here? So, I mean, look at all the pumps I got pumping on this water, trying to keep these generators going. It's just virtually impossible. I was hoping when they did update number 4 that it would make it somewhat better. But they never removed the water, so naturally, it's a pain in the butt. But that's the biggest issue I have. Now, wait a minute, let's go back to the hub. I guess we can go back there. The other issue is that it's the recipes. Guys, I don't actually agree with a lot of the recipes. It's the same thing like the recipe for ammo. What does a beacon have to do with ammo? Well, this is, if you guys want ammo, you have to be able to craft it using a beacon. And I can't see any reason for that, but I seem to think that a lot of the recipes need a lot of work done on them still left yet. Now, the part I do like is the amounts that they changed on the stackable stuff. Yeah, they did a really, really nice job on that. But there's just some of this stuff, you see, it's like they're using 2 different types of material, which, I mean, you have to bring this stuff really close in together in order to be able to craft it, and automate it. Like it's like you got copper here and then you got plastic here. Well, copper and plastic are so far away from one another that you have to belt it all the way down, and there's no available transport available early enough in the game. Well, to be able to bring this stuff together, the only way you can do that is to belt it. The biggest problem I have are these. Trying to make, the steel beams for this game is just literally impossible. Now, I got a setup over here for them. It's actually and finally full. But guys, it took over a week for me to fill it up. And I played this game quite a lot. Now here I'm making the steel beams here. As you can tell, I'm completely full. The machine's running at as fast as it can go. And as you can see, it's making me quite a lot of these beams. Well, that's only under the condition, guys, that I can keep the belts full. As long as I can keep these belts full, I shouldn't have any problems. But the bigger problem I have, the assemblers, I think, run fine, but just trying to keep up with the material is a pain in the butt. This just doesn't take hours, guys. This takes weeks. Weeks, I mean, unless you're playing at 10, 12-hour days, forget it. But I play in about 3 or 4 hours a day, once in the morning and once at night. And I guess it's just because the part I do like about this game is the construction part of it. I just like the construction part of this game. I just like the building of the putting things together, getting them to work, and so on and so forth. But there just has to be a lot more done to this game in order to make it more usable, more user-friendly, because I've had too many headaches playing this game. And I mean, playing a game shouldn't be frustrating, but this game is more work than it is a game, because it's been extremely frustrating for me. It's been driving me bonkers. I don't know. I would like views and opinions on my views and opinions on this game. Some of the other things is that, I mean, I suggested to them several times about the modding community that I can't always get help with my mod that I'm making. Here, let me show you that. At least I can do that. The whole idea was to come up with an idea. Or, well, let me go here. I'll go here instead. If I come here and go down here to 3 and 4, as you can see, here's my mod here. I got some more updating on it to do, but I add some additional resources to it. You know, some a plant and a bed that you can actually put into it. Some extra stuff, you know, like diesel fuel and stuff like that. The carbonite ingot is something completely different. I'm not going to tell anybody what that's for, but you'll find out eventually. The diesel fuel was originally for a train. What I wanted to do was to release a small train, something a little bit smaller than a player, just to be able to, you know, to try to help with transporting goods from one end of the, well, from one end of the world to the other end. It's just a pain. And then the worst thing about it, when you run out of material, then what do? That means then you have to walk all the way back to get your material. It's just ridiculous. Here's some more machines. I got a constructor. A friend of mine made me this constructor similar to the original constructor, but I call it constructor 2. This one's going to give you a little bit more options. Plus I got an item counter, which is one of the first machines they ever came out with with the starter kit. So this is going to be very interesting. I also added in a steam generator and a steam boiler plus some extra slots too. I got the boiler working. I've been having some problems getting the steam generator to work. And these are just some buildings here. I got like a warehouse. It's like a storage container, but it's made into like a warehouse. There's like a small little hut that you can put in, and plus a personal locker. And that's basically it, for my mod. But I wanted to do in Tier 3 was to release a train. So there were going to be buildable trains here, where you could actually have train of the track, the train itself, and then 1 or 2 carts that can actually transport smaller amounts of this stuff using nothing but coal. So the train would run on coal, and that's it. And that it could go just as far or just as far as anything else that would help you bring some of the materials back without you having to have to belt them. Because you can see, I've got belts going from one end of the plant or one end of the planet to the other end. I tried to do was to keep the generators close to the water sources I could, but it's just that everything is so big that, well, Jesus, guys, this entire world would probably fill my entire apartment up. I wouldn't have any room to move around in. But you can see, I got belts going from one end of the world to the other end. There has to be another way to be able to bring materials down. Now, prove that they did make a drone, but guys, they don't release that until Tier 8, which I haven't even gotten to Tier 8 yet. This is Tier 6 and 7. I just unlocked them. I just recently started processing oil. Here's sulfur, gunpowder, and stuff like that. There's another factory that you look over there, and kind of like out there in the middle of the open. That's another factory I'm putting together. But that's basically, from my oil. The biggest thing I have is I've been wanting to get tickets, and they're virtually impossible to get unless somehow you cheat on them. And from what I've been seeing, there's a lot of people that cheat on this game, and I'm thinking that's because they never actually really played it. I haven't seen anybody that can actually sit down and literally play this game without cheating. So I don't know how they're cheating or whatever they're cheating. They probably have administrative commands that they're using to allow it. But anyway, this is where all my oil comes in at. I got it currently shut down right now because of the power issues. I didn't want to have to add on any more generators because of the water issues. But basically, I have one water pump to every 4 generators. So, I mean, as you can tell, I put them in areas of 4. So you see I got 4, 8, 8 and 8 is 16. Let me see. So there's, okay, I don't know. Yeah, okay, I know there's 8 there. There's 8 there, there's 16, that's 32. I got 36 generators going right now. And I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding. Well, as you can tell, the biggest issue I have is water. I did have a problem with some of the coal too. I went in and fixed that. Fixing the coal issues is a lot better than trying to fix the water issues. But as you can tell, I got 3 pipes coming up here. I got 2 more pipes over there. Plus, I have, I believe, 2 more pipes full of water coming up here. If I'm not, yep, 2 more pipes right there. So I got 1, 2, 3, 3 from what I can see. 3. Yeah. 4, 5, 6, 6. I got 6 pipes full of water, bringing water up here to all these generators, and it's still not enough. So I know I'm going to have to add, a couple more pumps to try to bring in more water. But the problem that I hate is that it's time consuming. It's extremely time consuming. I want to be able to build the factory and get the machines running without having to have to worry about water all the time. But who knows? I mean, maybe Coffee Stain will eventually do something about some of this stuff. I mean, it's like, if you come in here and if you even check some of them, if you come in here and you check some of this stuff, it's like, well, it's like with this, look, 5 and 4. How about 2 and 2? That would make more sense than the amounts that they have here. The idea behind this is because you would produce more, because you would use less material. You remember when these first came out? When this game first came out, you were able to get 4 wire. When the second patch came out, then it was 3 wire. When the third patch came out, then it was 2 wire. And that's the way that it's been. This needs to be raised back up to 4 wire. Look, if we get 5 quick wire, why can't we get 4 or 5 wire? That doesn't make any sense too. It's like some of this stuff, requires additional stuff. So you'd have to, belt this stuff from one end of the planet to the other end just to be able to supply it in order to automate it. It's the same thing with the circuit boards. You got copper here and plastic here. Well, plastic is made with oil. Well, I'm thinking that's a little bit of a trip, in order to automate these. It's the distance is where the problem is. These heavy frames, 100 screws to make one of those frames. I don't think so. That's awful expensive too. Because it's like, look at the screws. Instead of just using iron bars, you have to use these. So it takes twice as many machines to make the screws. Now, I already know, guys, about the down drones and stuff like that. But half of them, I don't think they're even worth it. I don't think they're even worth getting, because the recipes can't always be what you want them to be. You know what I mean? A lot of times I find recipes that I can't even use because they're not even close. That's the reason why I'm coming out with a constructor too, because it's going to be able to make the screws and everything, more screws with less material to be able to build this up. Because I got like 4. I had 4 of the manufacturers running. Yeah, guys, at 100 screws each. Yeah, I wonder how many machines it would take to be able to supply enough screws to all 4 of those manufacturers. Even with my mod, I couldn't keep up. The demand for the screws was just overwhelming. It's the same thing like the other stuff. Yeah, that reminds me. Guys, the only biggest improvement that I've seen so far until I can get into tiers 7 and 8, or just the recipes. Or, no, not the recipes, I'm sorry, the stack sizes. I mean, they really increased the stack sizes. Let's go into my inventory. Look at this. Concrete is now 500. Perfect. But there's still also a lot of other this stuff here that needs some work done on it. These are only 50. The modular frame should be 100. I like the idea of the other parts of them too. Look at what it takes, to make a rotor. Look at how many parts it takes, to make one of those rotors. I don't have a machine laying around here. Let's go on over here. But I mean, just to make one of these rotors, it takes forever and a day because of the amount of parts that's needed. Well, look, 25 screws and 5 iron rods to make, one lousy stinking rotor. Yeah, where did they get that recipe from? The bottom of a Cracker Jack box? I'm sorry, guys, but I just don't agree with them. It's the same thing like these here too. Look, you have to have iron and steel in order to make these. Why would they separate the requirements for it? Here, you need copper and steel, or copper and iron. These are easier to make because the elements are closer together. But look at these. No, I can't see 12 just to make this little frame. How about 1 would make more sense? These are this smart plating. Yeah, well, if you go back here and see what it takes to make the reinforced iron plates, 12 screws and 6 iron plates. How about 2 screws and 2 iron plates? Guys, I just seem to think that they're just way over budgeted on the recipes. I mean, it's like this is perfect. They made all this stuff. They got a lot of this stuff. But see, they need to work on some of these recipes. But anyway, guys, this is a part of my mod. Hopefully I'm going to have this up and running real soon. I don't know if I'm going to make it available for everybody to download. I just don't know yet. But anyway, I'll let this go back to work. But this is the idea that I had behind it. It's like I got this, this blasted sink. Well, I'm going to have it powered up. I got the sink machine here because I got it also running up there in oil too, but I have it off. The oil section of it is off for right now because of the power issues. Well, it's like, this is one of the reasons why I keep disconnecting it, to keep those numbers from piling up so high that it takes 10 times more materials. But I've been running copper stuff through it just to try to get some tickets. Well, as you can see, I got 8 tickets right now. Unfortunately, I'm still 1 ticket short from what I want to get. But I think some of the tickets, are just too kind of big and high. It's like the windows here are 9, but the doors and the walls are a lot less, or about half of what this cost. Well, this should be 4 or 5 too. Instead of 9 tickets, it should only be 4 or 5 tickets. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's like, this thing's okay, but 10 tickets? Guys, if the tickets were easier to get, then yes, then I can see that. But if you limit the game, if you limit the machine on how many points it's going to give you in order to calculate how many tickets it's going to give you, it shortchanges us. Well, shoot. I would like to hear any comments, any views on this. I think they did a smash-up job, basically, on the stack sizes. But like I said, I haven't reached update 4, which is going to be, in the tiers 7 and 8. So whenever I get there, I'll let I'll probably have another review on this game. But from what I saw, I think it's going to be extremely expensive and it's going to be too hard. The worst problem I have with this game, the worst one, is making aluminum. That's why I'm going to make a new recipe for that too in my mod, where you can send in coal and that other element to make aluminum ingots, because you have to be a rocket scientist just in order to figure it out. It's really wild. They're just making things way too hard. The game's getting way too hard to play. I've had too many headaches, too much frustrations with this. I've had to get up and walk away from it. I've had to take days and weeks away from this game because of the headaches. But then again, I'm not 20 years old anymore, guys. For those of you who don't know, I'm turning 62 years old next month. Okay? And I'm going to be playing games until I can't play games anymore. So, try to take it easy with this old man. Okay? Please post your video or your comments, your ideas and suggestions down below, what you agree and what you don't agree. Any views or opinions you have, let me know. Thank you very much. This is iceman11a signing off for now. Take care.